Today, my friends, we have for you Queen Walk miners with a Yeti bomb. We've got 3 examples for you guys, as well as 2 other examples using a siege barrack. Hopefully, this gives you guys a wide variety of how you guys can use Queen Walk / Queen Charge miners using either a Yeti bomb or the siege barrack. So that's right, guys, we are going to be going over Yeti bomb into Queen Walk miners. So the biggest thing is, what are you doing with the Yeti bomb? So most times, especially at Town Hall 11, you don't need to blimp the Town Hall. I mean, there's absolutely no reason to blimp the Town Hall. I mean, it's not even a defense. So what we are looking at is, more specifically, we're using it to create a funnel. That is what you should be trying to do. So the main reason is, if we were to use this without having access to the blimp, or really just not using this and using a siege barrack, then we would be charging into here. Or most likely what would happen is, if we were walking around here, that inferno is going to be able to reach us. So the main reason to why is, by getting rid of this entire circular compartment, we're not just luring the CC, which you can see right here. Definitely do that when you're scouting, but you're getting rid of an inferno. And I mean, these infernos are adjacent from each other, making it very difficult for you to really actually get both of them by just using a queen charge or anything like that. You do see that there are storages there to really slow down the queen and miners. So the idea that what you're trying to do is, you're trying to make it easier. You're trying to make it easier by creating a funnel already with the Yeti bomb, so you don't need to worry about the inferno hitting your healers. So now you're able to lure out the CC, and you're able to walk in the right direction, which, could be here or could be another direction like over here. But once you've done that, once you've sent in your Yeti bomb, which you should be looking at where the town hall is, you should then start your queen, which she can go in any way. I believe she goes this way or down towards the cannon, but she will deal with the CC. Then you'll see is that the king's going to be deployed. He's going to be sent in right here. That's going to create this side of the funnel. And then the last thing is, he's going to be sending in his miners straight into the base, right towards the eagle. I was asked before, is the eagle really necessary to Yeti bomb? Well, if you take a look at it, there's a sweeper here. Would you really want to blimp into the sweeper? That is going to be your question. If there's a sweeper that's blowing right into the eagle, then it may not be a good idea. It really depends on how the eagle's placed, how the defenses are placed, and stuff like that. You don't know if there are seeking air mines over there, like ready to pop a battle blimp. So you really don't know. So that's really want to try and get at. So that kind of gives you guys an idea of what I'm sort of talking about in terms of this. So, with that out of the way, we can now sort of watch this example and show you guys what we're trying to mean, or what we're trying to talk about here. So we're going to use a couple balloons here, see if there are any seeking air mines on the outside. Then we're going to drop in the battle blimp, and notice how we're moving our way over to the multi-inferno. Then it's going to pop right above there, and see how we have the Yeti that is going to allow us to take that down without even using a rage. So it's really, really good right there. So you'll see that we lured out the CC. So we lured out the whole CC. Double Witch, Baby Dragon, Archer CC. But it's a very easy CC to deal with. And you'll see from here is we're getting a lot of really good value. We're going to continue the funnel over here, actually, by using the balloon. The main reason is because the mortar and the builder hut were touching. Because the splash damage could hit that, it would take it out in one shot. So remember to keep that in mind. I mean, when you're trying to funnel, if you see defenses on the outside, remember the number of balloons. If you haven't seen that video, remember to go ahead and take a look at the lava balloon paddling video. It's actually really good to understand the number of balloons that you would need per defense, because you never know when you're going to need it. You don't just use it for Lalo. You use it for stuff like this, and it can really net you a lot more value than you may think. So with that being said, you guys can see from here, we now have a funnel set. Super simple, right? I mean, Yeti bomb is by far the easiest method. And you'll see from here is that we are getting rained down by those eagle shots. However, we're underground, so those miners are not going to take any damage while they're underneath the ground. And another thing is, we have heals. We have 4 heal spells for them, and we have the Warden. We have a lot of ways to really make sure that the miners are getting through the base. And you'll see from here is that we popped it early. We want to make sure that we are keeping the miners alive as much as possible, and even though the Warden went down, it really doesn't mean too much because all we want to do is keep the miners alive. So we're using the heal spells to keep them going through. Another thing is using rage spells. You can see that we had no use for them with the queen, and all we had to do realistically is use it with the miners. The miners synergize very well with both heal and rage. Rage just allows them to really smash through bases. Another really big thing to know is that, for one, you guys can definitely tell that, you know, when you're using a strategy like this, you need to make sure that you are creating the funnel. So making sure that you're keeping all of that in order is going to be extremely huge. So with that being said, that gives you guys your first example. Let's go ahead and move on into another example using this same method. So we've got another example, and again, we are going to be looking at the same basic thing. We got to look at the CC first. We got to see, you know, where are we going to be able to lure this out from? And of course, it's going to be that inferno. So again, we want to make sure that we're looking at where the town hall is. Usually, if the town hall is in the center of the base, it's going to be easy. Trust me. The blimp goes for the town hall. If the town hall is in the center, you can battle blimp absolutely anywhere. But make sure that you are still following this here. If you're hitting those ring bases, you might get more value if you look for something a little bit more towards the outside. Since infernos are usually typically set a little bit deeper, you may want to save your YETI bomb for a little bit later. You may want to use a charge with it. So, you know, those are just things I want to quickly mention here. But definitely, all I would really say is definitely make sure that you're really looking at the base, because that is really going to be the big focus. Like you see right here on this base design is open to a queen walk to just walk through the entire base. It's a very open style of base, which is the reason why we're YETI bombing first, and then, of course, luring out the CC, which allows us to get rid of a multi-inferno, which, again, we could have charged into, which would have been fine, but I think there was more value to get that than, you know, YETI bombing the eagle compartment, which we could have, but it's a lot deeper set, and what funnel are we getting from that? So instead, you know, we're taking care of the CC, and then we're just allowing our queen to just walk into the base. That's all we want her to do. We don't want her to start walking this way. We want her to walk down. That way she gets a lot more value from her walk. It's not really a charge if the base is open. And you can see from here is that all the compartments, she can just walk through the entire base. So that's the reason why this attack was chosen, which is why, you know, we're going to use a couple balloons to sort of take out a couple of these defenses, but also to use the rage just in order to keep that queen alive, which is the reason that we're bringing more rage instead of heal. Now, you could say that this is still a queen charge, and yeah, you're totally right. It can definitely be a charge, because you are going into the base. But at the same time, it's a very walkable base, trust me. So you can see she's going to walk the eagle and stuff like that. It's super simple. So you'll see that as we're sort of just creating the funnel here for these miners to start moving in, making sure that they have an easy way into the base, right into this inferno, making sure that we can get them straight in. So you'll see that we're using that king, we're using the wizards in order to make sure that they are staying in the base. And you'll see we're popping the Warden ability. We're trying to make sure that we're not burning all the rage or the heal spells with the miners almost instantly. But you'll see that we drop a rage. This is going to help the miners a lot. So this is definitely going to be a very good synergy. So if you have any leftover rage spells, I would totally use it with this. It's definitely worth it. And it's just quite honestly better. So as everything drives through, you want to make sure that you are using those heal spells just in order to keep everything healed up. Like you saw right here, he used that heal spell over the bomb tower area, so that way it could protect his miners from the wizard tower and also from the bomb tower and the king. But with that being said, that gives you guys your second example. Hopefully these are really useful for you guys. But now we're going to go ahead and move on into our last example of the YETI bomb before we move into some siege barrack examples. So we're going to be looking at our last example here, and the big thing as far as I can say here about this one is that again, you are trying to look to getting rid of an inferno. The main reason is you are able to create a funnel. Now, does this mean you have to always walk on that same side? No, you do not need to. So on this base here, we're going to be walking our queen over this way. We don't need to deal with that. But at the same time, we're looking for the area that is going to be able to lure out the CC. So this is where you have to ask yourself, okay, so if I Yeti bomb the eagle, what value does that give me? It really doesn't give me anything. And we can't Yeti bomb like this. We can only Yeti bomb from the opposite side of the town hall. So the only other spot is going to be the infernos. So in terms of the infernos, this one is the best because that lures out the CC. This one can as well, but it's a little bit more riskier. So there is a trade-off, but is it really worth it to hit from the bottom when it's much more valuable to hit from the top and you're still getting rid of an Expo instead of just an Archer Tower? There's just a lot of things that you have to consider in terms of using a Yeti bomb. So those are going to be the things I want to sort of be the driving force to understanding that. So that kind of gives you guys, hopefully, an idea of understanding how you guys can use a Yeti bomb. Hopefully some of the Yeti bomb tips can definitely move over into like Town Hall 12 and Town Hall 13. So if you guys are at Town Hall 12 or Town Hall 13 and you're looking for something that might possibly work, then I would definitely give this one a try. I'd say, again, there's a lot of tips that you can really take away from this in terms of Town Hall 12 and Town Hall 13. Of course, then you can actually, Yeti bomb the Town Hall, but you get a lot more value when you Yeti bomb the defenses than the Town Hall itself. There's just a lot more value. So the main thing here that what we're seeing here is we're dealing with the CC. We're luring out the CC. Most of the time, this is a damage CC, and you'll see from here, this is easy to lure and to deal with. So if you are really interested in investing in using a Yeti bomb, that you have to look at, how the base is designed. Sometimes a Yeti bomb isn't going to be great, but most of the time Yeti bombs are. So if you are interested in using a Yeti bomb, I would encourage you guys to try it out. It's honestly probably one of the best methods to funnel, because it just allows you to create a sort of mini charge into an area without having to use a queen charge. It's really interesting. It's really cool. I've done it a lot at Town Hall 13, and I have to say it's really powerful when you get it right. And you don't always have to go for the Town Hall. You can just go for stuff like, of course, Infernos, especially here at Town Hall 11. But you can obviously go for other things, especially if you're higher up in terms of Town Hall levels. But other than that, it's still a really simple strategy. I mean, all you're doing is you're sending in your miners, you're doing your Yeti bomb usually first, and then you're just doing your queen walk on either the same side or the opposite side. It's just really going to have to be how you sort of think about a strategy like this. But with that being said, it's still very simple for you guys to understand. Miners are super easy. So if you guys don't have access to siege barracks, and or if you guys are farming with this strategy, I'm going to say, try Yeti bomb. It's definitely not a bad method. It's definitely extremely easy for you guys to sort of wrap your heads around, and it's super easy to get to use. Trust me, I've used it. It's good. So with that being said, that is going to be done with all of our Yeti bomb examples. So if you made it this far, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss any other content and to join the Corrupt fam. But we're going to go ahead and be moving on into 2 more siege barrack examples. So after showing you guys Yeti bomb, which is awesome because it shows you guys how to use this without having access to the siege barracks, we're now going to show you guys how to use this with the siege barracks. So yes, miners are still really, really strong. And of course, I've made a video on this before. Definitely check that video out as a card up here. But with that being said, there are a couple things that you need to understand. For one, the siege barrack can still be somewhat replicated with a P.E.K.K.A, so it's definitely good if you don't have access to it and you still want to use it. Maybe bring a P.E.K.K.A, I don't know. That's really going to be up to you. But as far as I can say, using the siege barrack, it's really not that difficult. All you have to do is just place it down, and that's about it. So the main thing is learning the charge, is where the questions are basically, where do you want to charge and how do you deal with the CC? That's going to be the thing. You really need to look at that. So Would you charge into the inferno compartment? Probably not. Would you charge into into that expo farm compartment? No. So you really need to look at the base really heavily and say, where is the best place to charge? That is going to be your big thing. And not just that, but you're looking on where's the most value that I can get with a charge, and not just creating a funnel, but getting rid of the CC. So that is going to be what you're looking for in terms of base identification. You've got to ask yourself those questions, because those are going to allow you to see, is this base right for this strategy or is it wrong? So you just got to really take a look. You could probably still YETI bomb this. The only issue is that you would need to get a deeper set YETI bomb around that inferno compartment, which is fine. You can still try to do that. I'm sure it would still work. Though there isn't a lot near those, and I think this base was definitely geared towards, not being able to lure out the CC when you are sort of using a battle blimp and using the YETI bomb. So definitely that is going to be the case here. So the idea, we're going to be keeping the CC here just so that then you guys can actually see a visual on, the CC radius and stuff. So you see that what we're doing is we're just creating the funnel on both sides. We're using the baby dragon in order to make sure that the queen does get funneled into the right area. We're using the king over here to go downwards, make sure that he is setting the funnel for the queen and not stealing the healers. Another thing is that we are making sure that we are able to use a coconut loon like you saw right there in order to soak up any seeking air mines that might hit the healers. And then you'll see right here is that we used one test wall breaker. The idea with the test wall breakers is to just test for any small bombs. So if you're interested in using it, I would highly suggest that you guys really try that out. Now you'll see that we are bringing a jump spell, and this is typically done a lot in queen charge attacks. So you really want to try and maybe bring a jump if you're not so reliant on wall breakers. So like you see here, we're going to get a little bit deeper with that jump. But with that being said, you'll see that now we're going to be able to deal with the double witch baby dragon CC, which again is not that difficult. You saw it earlier when we're dealing with it with the YETI bomb. Very similar process. But this time when you're charging, you got to make sure that you're raging your queen up instead of, it being lured out and stuff. So you'll see that with the siege barrack, and the reason why it's so easy is all you have to do is just place it down right there, and voila, you have created a funnel on that side. It's really a funneling siege. So it's so good to create the funnel there. And then on top of that, you can just really send in your miners to go straight into the base. I mean, what you're looking at here is you're looking at a funnel made here by the siege barrack and a funnel right here made by the queen charge. So I mean, that is really good. That's why typically when you're using a YETI bomb, is that the YETI bomb is actually doing the same thing of what a queen charge would do on a smaller scale. So that's kind of the idea of what you're trying to look at in terms of distinguishing between a YETI bomb and a queen charge into miners. So that is going to be the difference. So it's going to determine on how much value can you lure out the CC with the YETI bomb. If you can't, then a charge is going to be your option. If you can, then YETI bomb would probably be your best option. I mean, you now don't have to waste your queen to go charging into the base. Who knows if she's going to be able to get taken out or anything. So there's obviously going to be those very small things here and there that you could definitely shift up, but definitely just keep that in mind. It's extremely important. I really wanted to quickly mention that. I think it was a really good thing for me to sort of discuss, as it is a very good way for you guys to understand using a siege barrack and using a queen charge instead of using a queen walk and a YETI bomb. But now let's go ahead and move on into our last example to hopefully give you guys the best example of how to use both of these different type of siege machines with miners. So here's another one with the siege barrack, and the biggest thing as far as I can see is, all right, so we're bringing a jump spell, of course, like we always do. So where do you think we are going to be doing our attack? Are we going to be charging into the Eagle Island area? Are we going to be charging in down towards the Queen compartment area? That is going to be the thing that you need to look at yourself, and you need to ask, where is the best area? So as far as I can see here, as long as we walk our queen into the base here, we can possibly get some good value. So you really just need to make sure that you're looking at the correct area. So we're going to see from this example is where are we going to be starting our queen? Because that is going to let us know on where we're going to be charging into. As we see right here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating basically one big sort of funnel here. So we'll see what's going to be happening because I haven't watched this one. So we are going to be seeing a really simple example. This is a little bit of an interesting base. It is, I believe, a symmetrical base. So if you're definitely, seeing these type of bases, then it would be very good to sort of, think about, using something like this. Again, we're using a jump spell here, but we're letting our queen walk, and we're going to let her go in any direction, as it does not matter. It's mirrored on the other side. So we're going to be starting with using the wizard there to create a funnel, and then you'll see that we're dropping in some of the sneaky goblins. So if you have access to them, which I have them, and they are good for farming, but you can see that they can be even better for war if you can funnel very much correctly. So that is going to be the whole idea that you're trying to use if you are deciding to bring, some of the super goblins or the sneaky goblins. They are definitely very good at clearing up resource structures on the outside that can definitely pose some sort of threat in terms of, messing up the funnel. So you'll see from here is that what we're looking at is our queen is entering into the base. We have to rage her twice. So she was getting really low on health here. So we're making one big funnel. So this is what you're seeing here. So you're seeing that we're going to be creating a funnel right here using the siege barrack and the king. We are creating this big area here with the queen charging in. And now we have 2 heal spells to go into this straight section. That's it. That's how simple it is. It's really not that difficult. So you'll see from here is that we have a triple Valkyrie CC, something that we haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen too much. What you'll see from here is that as the miners are sort of starting to spread out, they will merge into one sort of group, which will allow the warden to go over both if they, in terms of if they split or not. What you'll see from here is that we're getting a lot of really good value from our miners. So we're just allowing them to literally go through the base. And then using the hogs from that siege barrack is also going to be a really big help because it just allows there to be an extra defensive sort of seeking troop that will crush any of those other defenses as the miners just clear up the rest of the base. And of course, it's only a couple hogs. It's only like 7 hogs at Town Hall 11. But you can still see is that it is very much powerful. Because still, hog raiders, especially max hog raiders on a base, on a Town Hall 11 base, it is still going to really help because you're going to be able to weaken defenses. You may not be able to take them out, but as long as you're weakening them up and allowing the miners to have easy access to the rest of the base, that's really going to allow you to really clear through it. So, with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. Remember to leave a comment down below if you guys did learn something from it, what you guys really took away from this. Let me know what strategies you guys want to see next. I know a lot of people want to see Electron, so that is going to be coming up in the near future. I do have some plans for other strategies before it, but don't worry, guys, it's coming. Also, don't forget, if you guys want to go ahead and join any of the clans I cover within this game of Clash of Clans, then remember to hit or, join any of their Discord servers. Make sure that you are, of course, doing whatever they're saying in those Discord servers in order, just follow their instructions. And remember, no in-game requests. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and also follow me on Twitch. And we're also streaming on a brand new platform, MadCat. Remember to sort of go ahead and follow me on there. It's madcat.tv. So remember to look that up in Google, and you guys will be able to find this brand new streaming service. So definitely follow me on there. If you guys want to see me do any more streams over on there, we're still growing that. It's a new platform, so it should be really great. But we're also still streaming on Twitch. But with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.